what eventually will be the outcome of the student when he passes out from the place.
We are looking at an outcome which is in line with the student's abilities and desires.
Is placement is the only criteria to calculate the ROI?
Nobody is going to hire a person because that person has a degree. People are going to hire a person because that person has skills and ability. Nikhil Kamath has gone around and said that if you're 25 and you want to do an MBA, you must be some kind of an idiot.
If you're 25 and going to MBA college today, you must be some kind of idiot.
But I think it was dumb and irresponsible to say such a thing.
Hey, welcome back to the channel and Campus Insights. The same story is going on. But this time, honestly speaking, as I was very excited about this conversation, because this is someone who you would really praise and you aspire to be at those places where he has taught, he has been to, etc. I have Mr. Rajeev Roy with me. Sir, welcome. He is an IIMA alumnus and has developed and trained students at places like XLRI, Raipur, Loyola, USA, and has been ex-dean of XLRI also. So, sir, this is like a very interactive thing that we do for the students, because I'm sure that you cannot reach to every student in every city. So, places which are, let's say, I would say a tier 2 places and tier 3 places, there you can reach out to the students through this medium, and they can actually get a lot of inputs from what value you can add to them today through this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me over.
And we've been doing this from past, let's say 6-7 months, and we have seen a very good response from the student community.
Really happy to be here and looking forward to an interesting conversation.
Okay, so guys, let's talk about something very interesting and why we are here today. I said Campus Insights, so something very different, a very different PGDM program. Sir, I came to this place. This is First Bridge Business School, and it's a newly inaugurated business school.
Absolutely.
Where we would see kids walking in now from 2026 onwards.
Yes.
So, first of all, why this idea came, rather how this idea came, and this name looks to be pretty interesting, First Bridge. So, what exactly is there in your mind while you are trying to create something very different?
This is something which me and the other founders have been thinking for a very long time. And, always there's a problem that education and industry, there's always a gap. I'm not saying that is something new. The gap has always been there. But I think in the last couple of years, this gap has grown a lot. What we teach in a B school and what is required by the corporate world, huge difference now. First Bridge is there to bridge that particular gap. We see ourselves as a platform. On one side, you have students, and the other side, you have the corporate world. We don't see one group as a customer to us and think. We are a platform and we have to connect these two groups. That is what First Bridge is all about.
But let's say when I talk about a PGDM course, I have been associated with PGDM course and its training since past 20-22 years. And I've always seen that people are talking about this bridge. People are always talking about this gap. And it's a very old traditional program which is going on from ages.
Yeah.
Now, what has suddenly kicked that you are saying that there is a bridge and we need to bridge that gap, number one? And number two, how this would be different from, let's say, a routine PGDM program which is running across the country?
Exactly. Completely right. In fact, you talk to a bunch of people who are in teaching, they'll tell you exactly the same things I am saying. They'll say that, you have to be one with the industry, you have to have practitioners in the classroom, you have to have a very job-oriented education. Everybody's saying the same thing. But I would say, look at what we are doing. Look at the endpoints that we have actually held on to. We are probably the only B school which will claim that the median work experience in the corporate world of a faculty member is 24 years. You will be hard pressed to find any other B school which can boast of more than 5 years. Usually, even if you go to some of the top IIMs, it's usually 3.5, 4 years. Here we are talking about a median of 24 years. That is the faculty. Next is the curriculum. Our curriculum is very different. How we developed it? We have gone to 80 companies. We have picked out the JDs and then we have synthesized it into a curriculum. Most places will talk about 4 specializations, the old marketing, finance and all. We took these 80 JDs and we figured out that there are actually 12 career paths and we have designed the curriculum according to that.
Okay, so what I have seen and gone through is, rather what I understand visiting this place is that this is more of experiential learning,
Absolutely.
and you are just adding supportive statement to that. So, first of all, these kids should know what exactly is experiential learning,
Absolutely.
because everyone says so that we are doing experiential learning.
Yeah, completely. So now experiential learning has become a kind of a buzzword.
Yeah.
So everybody is using that.
Yes.
But let's look at what exactly is experiential about it. Now, in 2 years or 1.5 years or 12 months, whatever is the time period, you have a limited amount of time with the student, right? And you should channel it in the right direction. We are the only B school which will claim that we have 0 textbooks. So how will the kid learn if there are no textbooks? The student is a responsible person. We have white papers. We have a lot GPT and various other Gen AI. We have a lot of other industry papers. And finally, learning by doing. 85% of our evaluation is through assignments and projects that the student submits. Only 15% is end term, mid-term, quizzes and all that. So we are walking the talk over here. There are no other B schools which are claiming this, the figures that I quoted right.
Now, something very interesting, which is which always is there in my mind, that MBA students, when they pass out, they used to be problem solver in past.
Yes.
But a lot of people are saying that problem solving approach will no longer be looked at, because a lot of problems will be solved by GenAI and all. So, is it only teaching them to use the tool?
They will continue being problem solvers. MBA's role is to solve the problem, but the way they're going to solve the problem is very different. They're going to use Gen AI like in 96, 97, we started using the computer. Like 2001, 2002, we started using the internet. Like around 2010 or so, we started using ERP. Similarly, right now, we'll be using Gen AI. But the objective remains the same, problem solving. But there's a subtle change which has happened. But even about 7 years back, the question that a recruiter used to ask a prospective employee is knowledge. Do you know the 7 different channels one can use in digital marketing? That was the kind of question that used to be there. Now it has changed. If you look at the questions that are being asked, it will be something like, have you done a digital marketing campaign? Or even more specific, have you done an email campaign? What were the criteria you have used to figure out when should you be scheduling the mails? Those are the kind of questions. They don't want knowledge anymore. They want proof that you have done something and you have learned from it. They want to get value for money from the employee from day 0. And as a B school, it is our responsibility to make sure that the employee is able to give value from day 0.
So, how would you ensure the implementation of what you are saying in the classroom delivery?
Absolutely. So, as I said, no textbooks. So, what does that mean? That means we are actually giving them about 30 tools in AI and data which they'll be using. That is one. Second is the profile of the faculty, as I said, practitioners. So, practitioners will be able to tell you what you are going to need in the first 1,000 days of your job and then also for the next 20 years of your job. These two endpoints are very clearly defined. Thirdly, the projects itself, these are not all projects which have been dreamt up by faculty or by the institution. We go to the market, we ask for live mandates. What are the problems you're currently facing? What are the things that are currently bothering you? What is the kind of expansion that you're currently looking at? Projects get developed from that and are given to the students. These are things that people can actually look at and see whether the student is performing. Now, a very important part that we have of this entire thing is most schools talk about a 2-month internship, 60 days. We have an
Not even 2 months.
not even
45
months,
days.
45 days. And you know how it goes. 2 months you hardly know what's your boss's name.
Hmm.
At most you probably know what's his favorite food,
Hmm.
what is his favorite color. That's it. We have an internship which is 6 months. In a 6 month internship, you're given a chance to actually show business results. Output is there. And also, what happens in the other end is the employer or the prospective employer is able to see this person performing for 6 months. They take a call on whether he's the right fit for the company or not in 6 months. So, not only do you end up learning, you also build a reputation for yourself. And a 6 month internship not just looks great on your CV, but actually teaches you a lot.
But this model came long back also. That was even different from this. That was OJT model, on
Absolutely.
job training.
Absolutely.
So, number one, how it is different from that. Number two, how you will mix these specializations, how you will, let's say, create the new specialization as compared to the old four. You said the old four
Absolutely.
exist,
Absolutely.
now we are different. So, how you create that mix?
Absolutely. So, as I said, what we have done is we have looked at the JDs which are currently there. That has given us an idea of what the jobs are. For example, right now it is very clear that somebody in B2B and B2C, we have very different career paths. There's very little crossover from one to the other. But we don't acknowledge that when we are actually looking at creating those career paths for them. The other thing is OJT is yes, you do. Right? You end up doing something when it's. But are you actually learning? Learning becomes a byproduct over here. Here, what we are doing is the focus is on learning. So, most places will give you 3 terms and then the internship will start. Here, we have a fourth term also. We understand that knowledge is specialized right now. After giving a general start in the first 2 terms, the next 2 terms are all about your career paths. You want to become a B2B marketer, we'll teach you all the things that are necessary to be taught in B2B marketing in those 2 terms. You'll do projects around that. You'll do a lot of micro certifications around that. At the end of the day, when you go for your internship, you have all the knowledge that is necessary. Now you go, you implement. And while you're implementing, there is a faculty member, there is an industry mentor who will be guiding you through the entire process. And there the focus is learning, not just output. On OJT, what happens is learning will remain a byproduct. It doesn't become the focus of things.
But this 6 months is in a row.
Yes.
Then how you keep your faculty, how you plan to keep your faculty member engaged for those 6 months with the kid?
So there are two different ways in which we do it. Of course, there is a mentorship which starts well before the process. So in the first term itself, we assign a mentor. And this is a structured mentorship. It's not that, okay, you have assigned somebody and let them do whatever they're doing for the next period of time. There is a progress tracking. This person is on a mentorship. So what are the goals of this? Where is this person headed? So all this is tracked. So by the time the internship actually starts, the mentorship has already started. It just flows into the next flow, which is the internship itself. Other thing is the tracker that we use. Again, a Gen AI based tracker. So what is being done, mapped to the strengths, the weaknesses of the student themselves, and then mapped to the ultimate career goals. So keep a track on what is the person learning, where are they actually performing, where are the things that they actually need to improve upon, what are the strengths that they have which needs to be built upon. All those things are also being tracked while the internship is going on.
So, what eventually will be the outcome of the student when he passes out from the place?
We are looking at an outcome which is in line with the student's abilities and desires. Now, let me there are a lot of students who get into an MBA program having pre-decided, I want to do marketing, I want to do finance, without having an idea of what exactly the profession is all about. Here, what we do is, you may have an idea of whether you want to get into finance, whether you want to get into marketing or anything else, or a smaller sub-specialization. But hold on, let's see what happens for the next 6 months. In those 6 months, we get a chance to assess the student's aptitude for that particular or any other specialization. The student also sees the performance along various parameters. We see how the market is headed and how it is matched to the aptitude of the student also. So at the end of 6 months, the student has feedback on whether that person is fit for B2C marketing or is fit for operations and productivity. So that becomes a starting point of the output. So we are not just pushing them into any job which is there. Second is, we actually give chance to the student to learn something before they start doing it. Now let me tell you a truth in the B schools. Summer placements interviews start in the month of September.
The moment he joins, just after a month.
Exactly. And you join 2 months, the interview start. Let's say, for example, there's a student who's going for product management. 30% of the B schools in India do not have a course on product management at all. Another 30% of the B schools have it as a course in the second year as an elective. Another 20% have it joined as product and brand management. That differentiation has happened about 20 years back, they've still not separated it. Here what we are doing is, you are trained on product management by the time you end up doing your summers in product management. And no interviews for the internship till 6 months is over. We allow you to learn. So outcomes are in line with the student expectations. Once a student is able to demonstrate that they're able to do things, jobs are not a problem. I mean, we are sitting here in corporate Gurgaon, and we are seeing corporate India all around us. People are looking for people who can implement. That is not a problem at all. But whether the MBA that they are hiring can implement or not, that is the question that they have. Here we are solving that problem.
This internship begins after the completion of first 12 months.
Yes.
Suppose, let's say, a student is not willing to join a company, is not willing to, let's say, do a typical job, then in that case,
we love those students. So the core of this is, I got into teaching about 25 years back. And my idea was that I was an entrepreneur before I started teaching. So my idea was that nobody knows how to teach entrepreneurship. My idea was to come and teach entrepreneurship only, because I thought that was a need for the hour. Then I discovered that there are other things also people can't teach or don't teach. So that is how I expanded. But the core thing that always is close to me is entrepreneurship. So if there are students who want to do entrepreneurship, we have a career path which is around startup leadership. So either you become an entrepreneur yourself or you join as the team in a startup. And that is something which is very close to our heart. As a founding team, we really want people to become entrepreneurs because we believe that there's a huge need for entrepreneurs. And we have a lot of things planned out. So on our board also, we have 2 people who are very prominent angel investors, and we have a lot of startup founders who are also in our board.
great.
So that is reflected in the way we are.
Now, let's say, direct for the students, since this query will come to us, what exactly you are looking at in an aspirant, who he should be, is there any percentile limitation, or what kind of a limitations you would create, or the entry barriers, so that you can get a right kid?
We want the student to have excellence on one front. We seek an ability to go deep. If we see that the student has done something very seriously and for a long time and has achieved a certain level of excellence, we are sure that that student is going to do well. It can even be in sport. So we have a faculty member who was the head of marketing for IIMA and for Zydus. He teaches marketing. He's going to teach marketing the first term. He has played cricket for India under 19. And we have another faculty member who was actually in his own band also. People used to pay money to watch him. We have another faculty member who teaches communication, who is one of the leading startup comedians in the country, stand-up comedians in the country. And people pay money, buy a ticket and go and watch him in the evenings. So we are looking at excellence. If you're able to show excellence in one front, we are sure that something that catches your fancy, you'll be able to do very well at it.
If you could tell an aspirant just one thing, one reason to seriously consider First Bridge, what would it be?
Nobody is going to hire a person because that person has a degree. People are going to hire a person because that person has skills and ability. 2 years over here, our focus is on sharpening the skills and building skills that are necessary to do that.
Wonderful. Just to wrap up, uh, what is exciting for the next batch is uh, what is your hope with them at the end of the program? One last thing, and then we'll wrap up.
See, I think the MBA has suffered a reputational damage
Yes.
over the last couple of years.
Yes.
Uh, Nikhil Kamath has gone around and said that, if you're 25 and you want to do an MBA, you must be some kind of an idiot. So I'll respond probably in the same tone and say that, okay, I mean, he needed to sell Foundry, so he said that. But I think it was dumb and irresponsible to say such a thing. I have done an MBA. I think it is one of the most amazing educational degrees that has been created. But yes, a lot of legacy institutions have not kept pace with the evolution that was needed of them. This is that evolution. We would like to think of ourselves as the Tesla of management education. And I think people who believe that we are the future of management education are the ones who should come in over.
Okay. To everyone listening, I do agree that legacy institutions have started charging like anything you would have seen by now, but at the cost of value addition, unfortunately no. So guys, you need to understand that value addition comes at a cost. I know this, but at what cost? And is placement is the only criteria to calculate the ROI, or are you looking for a good value added course also at postgraduate level? So it's not about that MBA is diminishing the value, but I believe that the top tier 1 and tier 2 B schools, other than the top 6 IIMs, forget them, they are now creating that value which is now diminishing the entire value of a student as a postgraduate. So probably place like First Bridge would emerge as I would say one of the best possible place for a learning ecosystem, for a good value addition that you get from the faculty members who are industry oriented, who are directly from the industry, and to work at a place and to get learning from a place. If they are from same individual or let's say the same profile guy, that would be great. एक प्रोफेसर जिसने कभी आज तक इंडस्ट्री देखी भी नहीं और वो आपको क्लासरूम में पढ़ा रहा है, तो बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट पार्ट है कि आप उससे सीख के जा रहे हो जिसने कभी वो देखा नहीं. And I always say, if you have not cracked cat himself, you cannot train cat. This is exactly on the same lines. If you have not worked in the industry, you cannot teach what industry demands. So yes, to bridge the gap, First Bridge Business School. I would thank you, sir. And honestly, it has been a privilege having you on here. And it was wonderful to interact with you. And I would say, I mean, my visit was also, I would say it will be fruitful that say if we are able to generate right value among the kids. But thanks a lot. And I'm sure आपने जो अभी तक किया है उससे बेहतर ही ये होगा. So that's what I pray and wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you very much, Kapil. It was really lovely having you here on campus. And I would encourage all potential students to come over to campus. I keep on saying that 100% of the students who have come to campus actually decided to take a spot over here.
And it's not about the campus, it's about the people behind the campus.
Exactly.
Believe me, take my words. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. All the best.
Thank you very much.